The two arrived in front of their house, both tired from the practice match moments ago. Yamaguchi searched his pocket for the key when suddenly, Kyotani leaned on him from behind. This made him shudder and bit his lips a little, especially when he felt Kyotani's chin rest on his shoulder from behind. After that, his weight followed, pressing down on him that he can feel his warmth through his plain white t-shirt and into his freckled skin. They were so close that Yamaguchi can even feel the other's breath on his neck, sending shivers in his spine. In a good way. Kyo, not here. Yamaguchi stuttered, quietly. Sorry Yama, my legs are kinda shaking too much. What? His voice shifted, now filled with concern the moment he felt the mad dog tremble a little. And even more when he started to fall to his knees. When he turned to him he saw Kyotani's face looking a little sick and his body a bit sluggish. Yamaguchi quickly assisted the mad dog inside the house and onto his bed. Yamaguchi looks around, his hands a little fidgety. How are you feeling? Want me to call the ambulance? I can contact Daichi-san for help or maybe even Oika. Calm down Yama, jeez. He cupped the freckled boy's cheeks, squeezing him a little and stared him in the eyes with a soft-looking expression. Meanwhile, Blurg approaches the two, rubbing his fur on Yamaguchi's legs. She looked a little worried, and hungry too. I think the match just took a lot out of me than I thought. Blurg looks like she's hungry. There's leftover fish in the fridge. The freckled boy picked up Blurg off the ground, his snowy fur rubbing in his fingers. Something that calmed him down before redirecting his attention back to Kyotani. Are you sure it's not because of that energy drink earlier? He crossed his arms. I can't believe you finished that. It was like shoving sugar on your throat. Kyotani just placed his hands over his face as he finds a comfortable position in bed. I don't drink that a lot anyway, it's fine. As he settles in a comfortable position, he then realized something. He hasn't cooked dinner for them yet, so he proceeded to get off, tried at least before Yamaguchi stopped him. What are you doing? Stopping you from tiring yourself more. As much as I want to stay in bed with you, I need to cook dinner first. No, you're not. Yamaguchi pouted, as he grabs Kyotani's arms, holding the mad dog down. Just rest here okay, I'm going to get you something to eat okay? Okay, Kyotani quietly utters, looking away. As soon as Yamaguchi let go of his hold, he held him once more, but this time with a hug. The mad dog just hugged him back and was surprised when they pulled away. Why are you crying? I'm not crying, he said with tear dripping from his face. Let me guess, you're sweating through your eyes. Kyotani can't help but chuckle for a brief moment. I don't know, I guess I was just scared. Yamaguchi said, wiping the tears from his face. A small smile formed on Kyotani's face, as he uses his thumb to wipe the tears from Yamaguchi's cheeks. Come here you. He pulled the freckled boy back in for another hug. Save it until I actually die please, okay? Hey, don't say stuff like that please. Yamaguchi suddenly stood up, startling Blurg in the process. Okay, just please don't burn the place down. Kyotani can't help but laugh a little at the freckled boy's reaction. The landlord is annoying but I don't think that old man deserves that. We will shout for help if we have to. Yamaguchi holds up Blurg, as he salutes. The kitten was just confused but also entertained at the same time. You think we'll do just fine right, Blurg? Nervous cat noises. Even Blurg is not sure. Oh shut it you two. Just sit tight Kyo. I'll be right back. The freckled boy waved goodbye wearing his signature bright smile, and the adorable kitten in his hands, who still looked worried. Kyotani waved back and the moment Yamaguchi and Blurg left the room, he was left all alone. He closed his eyes to gain some rest but it was hard. A deafening silence blanketed him. He was already in a lethargic state and the loneliness at that moment just made it worse. It was only a few minutes yet, this state was unbearable. Yama, where are you? ***, he muttered to himself, as he gripped his sheets, and tries to cover himself more. Sheltering himself from the cold of being alone. His body started to shake a little like he was feeling a little chilly. Kyotani repeatedly called out for Yamaguchi's name. Calling him to come back, to stay right by his side as he began to breathe heavily. Suddenly, his eyes began to feel heavier and soon he was out. In his sudden slumber, he recalled childhood memories where he was in the same condition. I told you not to drink that anymore, right? Kyotani's mother told him, as he sat by the bed, taking care of his little boy. One of your friends was at the hospital because they drank 2 of that energy drink. And you drank 3. I'm not sick. Little Kyotani cried out. And he's not my friend. I don't have any friends. I don't need them. Why do you keep pushing people away, sweetie? His mother grabbed his little hands, squeezing them tight, only for little Kyotani to pull his hands away. Because I don't need anyone, little Kyotani shouted before facing the other side of the bed, hiding his face. And I'm not sick. Okay. His mother sighed deeply, before patting her son's head, who just looked more annoyed. There's nothing wrong with being independent, she said with a calm and reassuring voice. But having a partner, letting in someone in your life, someone you love, trust, and feel the same about you is way better. Little Kyotani just pretended to not hear his mother's words that day. A beautiful memory, but overshadowed by the fact that his mother left him when she found out his father cheated on them. The dreams of his past remind him of his present with Yamaguchi. No, please, don't leave me too, he uttered softly and quietly, as he slowly reaches out his hands. Kyotani didn't know how long his eyes were closed, all he remembered that when he opened them, he saw Yamaguchi sitting right next to the bed, checking his phone. A sight that instantly made him smile like an idiot. He noticed Yamaguchi had this serious look on his face like he was searching for something on the internet, with great interest. So he tried to walk up to him, with the sheet still on his head. With a sluggish movement, and the sheet obscuring his face, Kyotani looked more like something out of a horror movie at that moment. And like in any horror movie, Yamaguchi acted like what you expected. A ghost. Oh my god. He immediately grabbed the first thing he saw, which was his stapler, and threw it to the suspected ghost. Kyo, run. I'll hold it off and, or. Kyotani groaned in pain when the stapler bounced off his head. Kyo. Yamaguchi gasped at the plot twist, which wasn't really a plot twist. Why are you dressed as a ghost? I'm not. Kyotani cried out, rubbing his head. I'm just sick. Oh right, you were sleeping so didn't wake you up anymore. Yamaguchi scratched the back of his head, giggling a little at the misunderstanding. Just sit down, okay? I brought something that might help. Yamaguchi walked towards the table and placed a bowl full of boiled eggs in front of him. Perfectly cooked. At least he can cook boiled eggs now. Soft to hard boiled eggs too. #progress. It turns out Yamaguchi read somewhere on the internet that Kyotani just experienced the side effects of a sugar rush and needed some protein to get his energy back. An act that definitely made the mad dog very happy. It's been a while since anyone took care of him like this. The perks of living alone is that no one can tell you what to do. You can live your life the way you want it without anyone telling you otherwise, but it can be a little lonely too. As Kyotani fixed his sit to eat, he noticed something strange. Wow, you really filled the entire bowl with eggs. It's almost like you boiled the entry tray in the fridge. Kyotani laughed, a laugh that slowly disappeared when he saw Yamaguchi's quiet and serious expression. You didn't boil an entire chicken farm's worth of eggs, right? Yamaguchi just started to sweat a little. Avoiding eye contact. How many eggs did you boil? Kyotani asked, leaning close to him. Yamaguchi paused for a brief moment and took a gulp of air before answering. The entire tray. Why? The only appropriate followed up to this conversation. I don't know how many eggs you need, so I boiled them all just in case. He said, with a soft voice. It was almost like he was aware that speaking in that matter will calm Kyotani's anger. The mad dog just stared at Yamaguchi and didn't look mad, just a little disappointed. I'm sorry, Kyo. After releasing a deep sigh, Kyotani pat Yamaguchi's head gently, before saying, nah, you did well. He smiled, which caught the freckled boy off guard. He is used to seeing Kyotani smirk or form small smiles from time to time, but not like this. We can do a lot of things with boiled eggs. Want some egg salad tomorrow? That sounds good. And healthy too. Yamaguchi turned away, when Kyotani's smile remained, the freckled boy hid his blushing face. Kyotani just squinted his eyes, wondering why the other was acting strange just now. Well, open up. Yamaguchi snapped back to him, happily impaling a boiled egg with a chopstick before offering it to the mad dog. Are you seriously expecting me to swallow the whole thing? That's what he said. I guess I could slice it into pieces. Yamaguchi replied, looking back at the kitchen. But you can just take a bite at a time, and before he finished, Kyotani unhinged his jaws and with a big sudden chomp, gobbled up the egg in his mouth. Yamaguchi's eyes and mouth just widened at what just happened. Meanwhile, a satisfied smirk formed on Kyotani's face while he chews his food. With his puffed up cheeks, he looks like an overconfident pufferfish. Kyotani carefully opened his mouth a little to speak, but it was inaudible since his mouth was still full. What? Do you seriously expect me to understand that? After swallowing hard, the Kyotani repeated what he said. I said I wanted to surprise you. Why? I don't know. I just feel like it. The two just started laughing at each other for a good while. After devouring some eggs for dinner and putting the rest in the fridge, the two settled tucked in bed to gain a well-earned rest. Stop moving so much. You're tickling me. I'm sorry, Kyo. It's just, you're so warm. It's great. Yamaguchi happily said and hugged Kyotani tighter, making him blush. He's getting a little cocky now, huh? Kyotani thought to himself, but just let him be hugged since he was still feeling a little weak, but was feeling a lot better than earlier, and Kyotani wasn't going to let Yamaguchi win tonight. So after mustering the last ounce of strength he had left, he pushed the freckled boy to the side and went on top of him, surprising the freckled boy a lot since he thought he had the upper hand today. I win, he said triumphantly, wearing a devilish smirk on his face. A smirk that made Yamaguchi's heart race. Before things get spicy, Kyotani suddenly cried out when he felt a shape pain in his fingers. He lifts up his hand only to see Blurg biting it. I think she thought we were fighting. Really? What a dumb cat. Hey, don't say that to her. Yamaguchi pulled Blurg away, pouting, and placed her on his chest. Like an overprotective mom. Don't listen to him, Blurg, okay? I think you're pretty smart. Protecting me from this mad dog here. Kyotani just rolled his eyes and sighed before picking up Blurg. He moved her close to his face, the two eyeing down each other, neither willing to back down. Suddenly, Kyotani placed her on top of his hand and gently pat her fur. Blurg seems to calm down a bit and decided to curl up and rest in his palms. See, I'm not gonna hurt anyone. Kyotani repeatedly said, mixing in a few praise here and there, mainly about how soft her fur was as he continues to move his hand gently. Yamaguchi can't help but smile happily, seeing how gentle and kind Kyotani can be. Please don't smile at me like that. Why not? Yamaguchi's chin rested on his knuckles as he continues to watch him with great interest. It was like he was just in awe. Kyotani just glanced over to the freckled boy, both looking annoyed and embarrassed, but mostly embarrassed. It's making me feel weird. Is it a good kind of weird, like when you finally went to the bathroom after holding it in for hours, or bad weird like still shipping Luke and Leia after finding out their siblings? Oh, shut that. Kyotani snapped in his direction. I just thought Luke and Lee being siblings is just a way to force shippers away from them. I refuse to believe they're siblings. Okay, whatever you say. Yamaguchi snickered, before wearing the bedsheet like a Sith Lord, or a shady drug dealer. I guess you support incest rights, huh? No, I do not. Kyotani cried out, startling Blurg again, making her hiss at him for disturbing his catnap. Oh, sorry. Blame this guy right here, not me, okay. Despite his protest, Blurg still bit Kyotani's fingers again before jumping on Yamaguchi's side. A gentle bite this time, but still hurts a bit. The freckled boy just giggled, applauded his efforts, and mouthed the words, I still like you. Quietly so he doesn't disturb Blurg again. Kyotani will gladly take that of course and mouthed, thank you, as a reply. The three rested together like the normal routine. Yamaguchi and Kyotani facing each other while Blurg was in the middle, ensuring nothing unholy happens. This pissed of Kyotani a bit, but having their fur baby close calm him down too. Even if she does like to bite his fingers a lot. Quack. To be continued.